Hello everyone, it's Pan Shi with Xinhua News Agency. Welcome to our live program with Xinhua News Agency. It's on Xinhua's 3 network platform, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Today I'm at Shanghai of China. While Beijing is the political center of China, Shanghai stands as a symbol of China's economic growth and also is regarded as the pioneer of China's opening up program in the last 30 years. And opening up is what we have today and our topic today. You may think, wow, it's a big topic and very complicated, but now we start our live program with some interesting things and interesting people. As you see, I'm at a coffee bar here, and many people from many countries are talking and having coffees, but they are not resting from their tour and sightseeing. They are not travelers. They are living in Shanghai. They are working in Shanghai and even set up business here. So maybe you may think what they are doing. I can tell you they are talking with each other to seek some cooperation opportunities and to meet some clients and to do business here. And the coffee bar is also a very important space of the total floor. It's called X Node and incubator for some startup companies, and most of the companies here are founded by the foreigners. It's very different from other places in Shanghai and other cities in China. So what the companies are and what kind of business they do, we are very honored to have Jasper Jill, the community manager, right? The community manager of the incubator, to give us more stories of the X Node. Hi, Jasper.
Hi, Ken.
Say hello to the audience.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the stream. As Pan mentioned, my name is Jasper, and I'm the community manager here at our Jing'an space. So today we're going to give you a little bit of a tour and introduce you to one of the teams. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. So how many companies are there in all in the Jing'an space, and how many of them are founded by foreigners?
So we have about 40 companies here in our Jing'an location, and I'd say that about 65% of them are founded by foreigners.
Yes, could you please show us around and see what kind of business they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll take a quick tour here. This is our logo wall where we sort of showcase all the companies that we have in our space, and I'll just introduce a couple of them. This one here is called Seedlink. Seedlink is a company that works with artificial intelligence and data to sort of improve hiring practices for large corporations. And then we'll skip along to here. This is a company called Ginman. Ginman works in the fintech space, so financial technology that is sort of improving the way that people use money and invest. And so this is a
financial company?
Yes, exactly. And then this is a company called Chosen. Chosen here is it's a travel tech company. They use machine learning to sort of create customized, personalized experiences for business travelers when they're traveling to new cities. And we'll just check in with one last company here. This is a company called OmniCharge. It's a sort of hardware company. It's an IoT product. It's a smart charging device that sort of can charge any range of different types of products and has a bunch of other functions that can be used with it as well. It's a very cool product.
Cool. Like cell phones and laptops?
Cell phones, laptops. It even has USB ports. You can charge anything that you could plug into a normal power bank. And so as we're coming through here, you can sort of see this is also our event space. It serves as the cafe and the lounge when we're not having an event, but we're doing probably 3 to 4 events per week here. So it's a very exciting space, and there's a lot of sort of startup-related events and things going on in the space on a regular basis.
Yes, thank you. So these are the activities we have here?
Yeah, absolutely. We can take a quick look here. These are sort of some of the events that we organize. We do pitching events every couple of months. So one of the big ways that we help companies is with fundraising. So every 2 months we do the pitching days, where we bring investors from around the city and bring startups from around the city, including from within our space, and give them the opportunity to pitch to investors. But we also help in a number of other ways. So we can help with tax, accounting, legal, HR. These are the types of things that, especially for foreign companies, can be a real challenge operating here in China. But that's sort of why we're here, is to help these people be able to set this kind of stuff up.
So you mentioned tax and things like that. So I have a question. Would it be harder for foreign companies to do business in China compared with local ones, especially concerning tax, investment threshold, and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no doubt that there are some challenges around these types of areas for foreign businesses, but I think the opportunity here outweighs that. Shanghai's a cosmopolitan city.
Yeah.
It's innovating at a speed and in ways that just doesn't exist anywhere else right now. And so I think for that reason, despite some of the challenges, foreign entrepreneurs are looking at Shanghai as the place to be for operating a business if they're not doing it in their home country. So we're seeing a lot of that right now going on, and it's pretty exciting. Ultimately, that's why I ended up here as well. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you may think it's very cool space, but you want to know how to do business specifically. You may have a close look at one of the 40 companies here in X node. So we may meet one specific companies. I did homework last night, so I know there's a company called WeCare. It's a designing company for clients to improve their restrooms in China, and they have signed a contract years before. So could you please lead
Absolutely.
us to
We're right nearby. Why don't we just swing in here? And I think Ryan here can introduce a little bit about WeCare and what they're working on.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Say hello to the audience.
Hello. Hi from Shanghai.
So we noticed that that's your brand icon, right?
Yeah.
WeCare. So I know there are many words initiated with W and C, like we can, like world champion. So why you choose WeCare as our brand icon?
Okay. So first of all, a quick introduction. We are a public restroom transformation company. So we redefine public restrooms here in China and in Asia. And we chose WeCare WC for a few reasons. Obviously, the WC is topical. So WC kind of is ubiquitous worldwide for being the water closet. Anywhere you travel to, if you ask for the WC, people are going to hear you and know, okay, there's the public restroom. All right. And then WeCare, we chose that mainly because of our values. We have a really high... we're really devoted to making sure that from kind of our initial meeting with the client to design of the restroom to construction supervision to the maintenance, we make sure we take care of all of it and make sure we deliver a truly amazing restroom experience to public transportation hubs, malls, wherever we're working in.
Yes, okay. Could you show us your designing ideas here of WeCare?
Okay, yeah, so this is a rendering of one of our WeCare WC facilities if we were to do it in a larger spot such as an airport. Okay, so you walk in and you have a reception area there, and you always have a store manager, so that's kind of in our values. Again, WeCare, we're always making sure that we care. Then you go over here and we have the men's side, and as you can see there's some pretty large partitions all on an angle. That's for privacy and making sure that you have the most kind of comfortable experience when you are using the restroom. And as we mentioned, this is a larger facility. So let's say you're in an airport. Obviously, you're going to want some amenities. We have a shower in our restrooms because, you get off of a flight, you have to go to a business meeting. Yeah. Sometimes you don't always have the time to change. Yeah. And here we have some large mirrors with some inspirational quotes on them. Hey, handsome, you're looking great, that kind of stuff, so that you can start your day off well. And also these urinals, again, with the large partitions and a child's urinal and everything. And then we flip around here, and we have our stalls. So as you can see, they're pretty large doors, really private, and really colorful graphics on the inside, really interactive with the customers that are using these restrooms. And also the toilets, they're all hanging on the walls so that cleaning staff can easily reach them and clean the area.
They're very clean.
Very clean, yep.
And the walls are colorful?
Walls are colorful, yeah. Educational, so this is our family room, and the family room is one of kind of our, it's our main project here at WeCare WC. So you have toilets next to each other, educational walls, and changing area as well.
Yes.
So let's loop around here.
So it's very large. How large would it be average?
That really depends on the area that we're working with. So an airport, it would be relatively large. If we're working in a shopping mall, we might have to work within the constraints of the area where the restroom currently is. And as you can see here, we have recharge stations, just a comfortable place. So you're not just treating it as a public restroom. It's more interactive and enjoyable, and just making, as I said, redefining the public restroom experience. Shoe shine, just a lounge so you can relax.
Yes, maybe very useful at the airport.
Yeah, at the airport.
So, did you remember when did you move to the X node, and when did you sign the first contract with the first client here?
Yeah, so we started WeCare WC back in November 2015, and we moved into X node just with one hot desk. As you saw, X node, there's lots of people sitting around. One desk, one person, and as you can see, we've expanded. We have an awesome team of operational managers, business developers. We have material procurers and everything, interior designers. So a really, growing, dynamic, young team of really, truly professionals in their field.
Yes. So it's very cool. And here's a very specific question. Would it be harder for you to do business here compared with doing business in other places like in Germany, in the Netherlands, or in the United States? You're from the United States, right?
Yeah.
Is there any difference to do business in different places?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, to start, we started WeCare WC. Our CEO, she is Dutch Chinese, and she's been living out of Shanghai for 15 years.
Yeah.
And she has 2 children, so going to the public restroom, she noticed, was a huge pain point. Maybe a little bit different from Europe in that there's nowhere to really change the children, and it's a really uncomfortable experience generally. So that's why we started in the China market. And I think from being there in the China market, we realized what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages starting kind of a foreign enterprise here in Shanghai. One of the biggest advantages, as I heard Jasper mention, is that the market's really, really huge. Huge market. You're dealing with a lot of industries that are really unsaturated and haven't really kind of reached their peak as they have in the Western world, as we would say. And also, you're dealing with a lot of awesome technologies. Like, I'll take WeChat as an example.
Yeah. WeChat
is huge here. It's really important, and combined with other industries, you can really make something new and novel. So that's why, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is, another advantage, I guess, is that because it's such a huge market, a lot of our brand partners that we use within our restrooms are here on site. So it's easy to make connections and network here in Shanghai and in China. Yeah. Also, I guess some of the disadvantages would be you have this kind of notorious thing happening in China where there's a lot of imitators. That's something we fear as a public restroom brand. And I would say those are some of the biggest challenges that we have to deal with. But overall, it's been a really interesting experience, and especially dealing with such a huge market, it's overall been pretty positive.
Yes. Are you worried that the idea WeCare advocates is not accepted by the Chinese? Because there are a huge difference from Chinese think of public toilet with our idea.
Yeah, I think that's probably a big concern of ours. I mean, the statistics really prove that people are not necessarily in tune with the idea of public restrooms. If you look at it, 69% of people who go into a restroom, they actually will use their elbows as opposed to hands because they're afraid of being in contact with the disgusting surfaces of public restrooms. And then also 63% of customers as well who use restrooms, they believe if the restroom's dirty, that the landlord or the developer or the owner doesn't really care about them. And overall, restrooms are just cost centers. They're hard to maintain, and they end up just being a cost to the developer. So we're aiming to change that. We're changing the status quo, and we hope that with WeCare WC, we can change users' habits and make the idea more acceptable in China and worldwide.
So you are changing the status quo.
Changing the status quo.
Have changed
public
that.
restrooms.
Have
yeah.
changed that a little bit.
Yes, we're working on it.
Yes, thank you very much.
No worries.
So here's the story we have now, and we see that there are many companies here, and among which a lot of are funded by foreign startups. So several days ago, we have another interesting statistic made by the central government in the annual report of the central government. Here's the number of the newly set up companies last year in China increased by 24.5%, which means everybody, no matter what nationalities you are, have opportunities to have a share of the new opportunities. So here is outside the window, we see a very long road called Yan'an Viaduct. It's an elevated road directly goes to the Huangpu River, Shanghai's mother river, which separates the city into two parts, Pudong and Puxi. And now we are taking the road directly to the river, and then we will have a video clip, and after the video clip, my colleague Candy will give you more stories on the river.
开始。
You invite you. Tell us where are we now? Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is cruise ship.
Okay, thank you. Yes, like Zhanghua said, we are now on a cruise tour of the Huangpu River. We'll be able to see them as our cruise tour continues. Different sizes and functions along the river. And you also you can see the time-honored building and the big poles on the west side of the river, while on the east side of the river, some landmark architectures on the east side of the river that you might have only seen them on TV or in pictures. Can we find the Oriental? The world, and on the east side of the Huangpu River, you can also see the different skyscrapers all together make up the famous Shanghai sky. And have you just heard the clock bell? It is from the cruise is also known as a drop of water. In Shanghai, the name of the city in Chinese, the literal meaning of it is upon the sea, so obviously it is a port city. And Shanghai grew in importance in the 19th century as a shipping and trading city due to the recognition of its favorable port location and economic potential. And in the 1990s, the economic reforms introduced by Mr. Deng Xiaoping resulted in an intense redevelopment of the city. Now the city of Shanghai is described as the showpiece of the booming economy of China. It is not only a city worth visiting for travelers, but also a connection between China and the outside world in terms of economic interactions. And as China continues to press ahead with opening up policies, more and more foreigners are coming in. And the guide has told me that the Huangpu River is also favorite. It is a little cold here. It's also favored by the foreign friends, and indeed, actually, one of the foreign friend of mine is in the ship as well. So where is he comes from? And let us meet him. Hello, Halufi. Hello, Halufi. Nice to meet you again. And would you like to make a brief self-introduction to our audience and viewers?
Okay, my pleasure. Hello. My name is Hossein Khalifi. My Chinese name is Hefei.
Okay, Hefei.
Just now I'm the chief representative of Iran Tourism and Cultural Heritage Association in Shanghai. I came to Shanghai from 2006 after I finished my university. I have worked in Shanghai more than 10 years.
For 10 years.
I was appointed. During the Shanghai Expo. I'm the general coordinator of Shanghai Iranian Pavilion in Expo.
So you have mentioned the Shanghai World Expo. Yes, it is a great. It's a big event in the 2010, and so you have been here for a decade. How do you like Shanghai?
I like Shanghai because Shanghai has so many capacity, and also you can find here so many nationality and so many culture. I like Shanghai. I really like Shanghai.
You repeat, I like Shanghai. And how do you like the views on the river? Is it your first time to take a cruise tour of the Huangpu River?
Of course, it's not my first time. You say Huangpu River. I remember during the Shanghai Expo, I took so many Iranian delegation, Iranian people come to river, and also just now the Huangpu River also one of place every Iranian people come to Shanghai must come here, and I think the Huangpu River is a nice place, and you can enjoy here and touch here really Shanghai. And the another side, as in my the voter in our culture, representative of chance and also representative of opportunity and lucks. So I like here. I like Huangpu.
Yeah. The water also represents the good wish and good fortune in China. Yes, and you have mentioned that as an ambassador of the area's tourism. What is your job mainly about? Can you tell us something about it?
Okay, I also my duty and my job want to introduce really Iran to Chinese, and I also the representative of the Iranian handicraft in Shanghai. So because of the reason, I also do another something relation with this handicraft. I do Iranian carpet. As you know, 2,500 ago, Iranian ancient traders by the secret come to China and introduce the carpets. After 2,500, I mean just now, I do this also this culture. I try my best use this some culture product introduce our country culture.
So thank you, Halifi. And this area is opening up to outside world as well. So is China the favorable destination for Iranians when they, in terms of the economic and the cultural interactions?
Yes, the China government suppose the one belt, one road.
Yeah, you mean the Belt and Road Initiative? Yes.
Yeah, in the Belt and Road Initiative, and in the 2013.
Yes.
After that, so many Iranian people come to China and want to more discover to China, and also Iran hopes to deeply cooperate and participate so many fields with China part.
Yeah, thank you. And we hope that you can able to set up bridge between your country and with China, and also the people of two countries can better understand each other, and also to find more chances to do the business together, and also learn from each other, and to bring out the common prosperity. Yes, and as we travel on the cruise, there are annual political big event in China. Two session is still ongoing in the capital city of Beijing. So the Chinese, during the meeting, the Chinese government would summarize the work for the past and also plan for the new year. And in this year's the Chinese government work report, the Premier Li Keqiang stressed that China will push ahead with the Halifi has said that the Belt and the Road Initiative. And so in the perspective and in accordance with the your representative institutions, what will be your main task and the project for this year to better connect
For this year,
Hello everyone. Did you enjoy the cruise tour with Candy and her friends? I'm Sun Qing from Xinhua News Agency, and we're now inside one of the skyscrapers that Candy just introduced to you. And here is the office space of Ernst & Young. You know, EY is a multinational professional services firm and also one of the big four accounting firms. Okay, probably you already know this is China's 2 sessions time. So today, for the third part of this live, I'm going to discuss with 2 experts here, seeking for more professional understandings on China's opening up efforts, and also the impact it has had, is having, and will have on the world economy. So first of all, let me introduce this young lady to you, and she is my friend, and she's also a research fellow at China Institute Fudan University.
So as you have already known, our institute focused on research of China's model on both its economic development and social development. So I'm very happy today to come with you today to Ernst & Young.
Okay, I know Bai Guo is recently doing a research project in relation to China's opening up efforts and policy. So today we come together to visit Mr. Titus Bungert here to exchange views on that regard. So maybe let's go to meet him.
Great.
Is this your first time to visit
Right.
EY?
This is the first time to visit their office space in Shanghai, but I've heard of them for quite a long time. They were among the first to enter the Chinese market, and it's really fair to say that they witnessed the whole process of China's opening up. So I'm very excited today to meet Mr. Banga.
Okay, so I think this way. Hello, Mr. Bongard. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome to EY.
Thank you. I'm Sun Qing from Xinhua News Agency, and this is my friend Bai Guo, a research fellow from Fudan University. Okay, so please say hello to our audience and maybe introduce a little about this lovely office.
Hello, everybody. My name is Titus von den Bongert. I'm actually German. I'm a tax partner here at EY in Shanghai. And actually, this is a very special room we are at the moment. We call it Hall of Fame, because when you take a look at all these pictures here, these are entrepreneurs from China who have been awarded with our annual award, Entrepreneur of the Year, which we award in certain categories. And but the China winner actually is going to Monaco for a global competition. And as you can see, coming from the dates, we have already run that program for many years now, and it's very well appreciated in the Chinese business community. But I want to show you something, actually, because there is a very nice view if you look out of the window. Unfortunately, the sun does not shine today, but I really have to say, always standing here and looking out and looking at the skyline and remembering coming to China 20 years ago, where only the Pearl Tower, TV tower, was finished, and now seeing this big, fascinating metropolitan area, it's always stunning, I have to say.
Yes, and we can also see the Shanghai Tower, which is the tallest one in China.
Exactly, not only in China, but also in Asia in the meantime.
And we know in this area there are a lot of foreign companies and financial firms here. So we also know this area as China's Wall Street, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so I think it's maybe the time for us to sit down and start our topic today.
Please.
Okay, just to remind you, we are from Xinhua News Agency, and now we are live broadcasting to you from Shanghai World Financial Center. And now we are in the office of EY with Mr. Bangert, and he is an international tax partner of EY. And also we are on an interview of China's opening up. We also have Dr. Bai Guo, a research fellow from Fudan University. Well, Mr. Bongard, I see you have several titles, so could you please introduce this a little bit about to our audience?
Yes, happy to do that, Mrs. Sun. So first and foremost, I'm a tax partner, which means that I advise clients, in particular from Germany and Switzerland and Austria, doing their work here in China from a tax point of view, starting from market entry, compliance, as well as restructuring. But I'm also responsible for the coordination of the work for all our German, Swiss, and Austrian clients, also beyond tax, which then also involves other service lines beyond tax.
Okay. And we are also curious, as an international tax partner of EY, what kind of services does your team provide to customers, and what kind of industry and companies you mainly focus on?
So in terms of services we provide, you may be aware that EY has a very broad range of services we are offering, starting from advisory, where we focus on helping our clients to improve their performance in a sustainable way. Secondly, we have assurance, including the auditing of financial statements, as well as fraud and risk advisory. Third element is tax, where I come from. And last but not least, we're also helping clients in the area of transaction, buying, selling companies, evaluating companies, and so forth. Now, in terms of clients and industries, actually, we do not have any limitations. When you look at the names and companies we are serving, they are from all different backgrounds, different countries, different sizes, and different industries.
Okay, so as we know, China's gradually opens up, and there are many more and more Chinese companies are now encouraged to explore market overseas. And to those who are willing to do business in another country, such like in Germany, how does EY help them go global?
You know, the Chinese companies are, to some extent, they are in a dilemma because, first of all, the Chinese government encourage them to go out and invest outside. Secondly, there are business opportunities outside of China. But on the other hand, there is no experience. So Chinese companies are very new on the global scene. So there are two elements where we support. First one is before they invest on the headquarter level, where we share our experience, where we tell them what other companies are doing, other multinationals are doing, devising some strategies, options. And the second part is whenever a decision has been made, that we welcome them in the country where they are going to invest. So for instance, in Germany, we have a fully dedicated team of Chinese people who welcome Chinese investors, help them setting up their strategy plan, help up setting companies, and also help them implementing their plan and become successful in Germany.
Just like you mentioned that you've been in Shanghai for 20 years, right? And we know that EY has set its business in Shanghai since 1990s. So I think both you and EY have witnessed the historical period of Pudong's opening up from previously Waigaoqiao Free Trade Zone, which symbolized initiation of China's free trade system, and to the newest one, Shanghai Pilot Free Trade Zone. So how do you evaluate the chances that the free trade zones in today's China's economic, and how do you evaluate the changes in terms of China's market and investment environment?
So I think you have to put the free trade zone concept into the historic perspective, because China has a tradition of doing things in a confined geographical area first, testing it, refining it, and then spreading it out all across China, which started actually at the beginning of the 90s with the establishment of the special economic zones, 5 of them, all in the southern part of China. And this was actually the start of a big wave of manufacturing multinationals coming to China, and then coming to the next step, which was distribution. And now the free trade zone come into the picture, because in the mid of the 90s, Waigaoqiao and 14 other free trade zones in China have been opened and allowing multinationals for the first time to set up a wholly foreign-owned entity to import their goods into this free trade zone and then distribute it via Chinese agents into the market in China. This has further enhanced at the beginning of this century, when the concept of foreign invested commercial enterprise has been established, where these companies now have been able not to be refined to the free trade zone, but they could spread out to Shanghai, to other provinces, wherever they wanted to go to do their business. And this was the starting point actually for all these nice retail shops we are seeing now from multinational brands. And as you mentioned, as a last step, the pilot free trade zone, where we have to clarify the pilot free trade zone is a real free trade zone, while the concept from the mid-90s was rather a free tax zone.
So when we talk about China's opening up, one of the keywords this year is about pilot free trade zone. So let me give you some background about this. China sets up its first pilot free trade zone in Shanghai in 2013, and the core area of Lujiazui, where we are now, is also included after an expansion in 2015. And also another 3 pilot free trade zone had also been built in China's Guangzhou, Tianjin, and Fujian, just like Premier Li Keqiang said in this year's government work report that China will build a total of 11 high standard pilot free trade zones. So the free trade zones have become some like testing ground for institutional reform and China's pioneers of opening up. So Mr. Bungert, how do you evaluate the opportunities that the pilot free trade zone to those investors and foreign companies?
Since you have mentioned that we have this concept now since almost 4 years, there is plenty of experience now available. And I would focus on 4 elements. One is that any kind of business is now allowed in these free trade zones which are not reflected in the so-called negative list. So this has been made more easy. Second, it's the interaction between companies and the administration. Because in the past, it was normally a very burdensome process to go, for instance, for a company establishment, you had to go to different offices. Now they want to introduce a concept, one face to the company, which facilitates a lot the interaction between both parties. Thirdly, it's the in and out of goods. Customs clearance procedures have been facilitated. And fourth, and maybe one also not one very significant, is the free flow of foreign exchange in and out, which has been facilitated in these zones.
So the next question is for Dr. Bai Guo. And have you read this year's government work report?
Of course, I did. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the report targets this year's China's GDP growth at around 6.5%. Right. Yes, and the target, which Premier Li Keqiang said, is realistic and in keeping with economic principles, right? But also, this is really the lowest for China for more than 20 years. So how do you think about this rate?
Well, always talk about 6.5% of the GDP growth as low, but low in what standard, right? Last year, the US GDP growth rate was like 1.6%, and the Eurozone was not too much better, a little bit more than 2%, I believe. And so this year, we set the target at 6.5. I think many people say, but this shows a sign of inconfidence. Yes. I quite think the contrary. I feel this is actually a sign of confidence because even we have a growth rate that is slightly below 6.5, we can still achieve our goal of doubling our GDP and the household income by 2020. So it shows that we are kind of relaxed and rational now with our GDP growth. We're not like obsessed with this high number, but really focused on whether we can provide enough employment to the people, whether we can provide a reasonable level of income, and also to provide a better and more inclusive development. So I think there's no reason to panic about 6.5, which is a really good number in today's world. We have to see that we do face a lot of uncertainties this year with the international environment. So, personally, I think this is a good target.
Okay. Some of our audience may know less about China. So how can you explain such a low forecast rate? Is it realistic for China?
Of course, as I just said, it's completely realistic. We put it like at this rate, taking into considerations of the risks that might be happening with the external environment, that is with the international markets. And inside China, of course, we are still in the process of the transitioning of the economic growth model. So which means that we want to put more emphasis on the quality of the growth instead of, just the speed of it. So that shows this shift with the emphasis. Mm-hmm.
And also in this year's government work report, another highlight is about Made in China 2025. And okay, let me explain. This is a plan to modernize China's manufacturing sector. So last year, when President Xi Jinping met with German Chancellor Angela Merkel in Beijing, she urged to government to encourage companies of two sides and to conjoin Made in China 2025 and Germany's Industry 4.0, right? And also to boost cooperations with company in a third country. And this has also echoed by Moker. So, Bangert, how do you evaluate the face of China and Germany in opening up at this moment when there seems to be an increase of anti-globalization and some even attempt to reverse the trend by certain countries?
Yeah, for sure. When you look at the recent news from big countries, global players going more in a protectionist direction, this is very gloomy from a global perspective. However, funny enough, Germany and China are the two countries who are the very important and big global trade players are going in the opposite direction. So as you mentioned before, Xi Jinping as well as Dr. Merkel, they both made a clear statement that they want to keep the track of globalization, increase the level of cooperation. And when you look at the level where both countries are already, it's amazing. This year, for instance, China for the first time has become the biggest trading partner for Germany, exceeding the US, exceeding France and all our other major trading partners. When you look at the level of investment of German companies in China, more than 5,000 companies, billions of investment in this country. We have seen the first wave of significant investments from Chinese companies in Germany. So I would say, not least also to the fact what you have mentioned before, that both countries have the same strategy with Made in China 2025 and Germany Industry 4.0, I would see plenty of opportunities for both countries now to develop further on the next level.
Okay, so Baigu, do you agree with Ms. Banger's insight?
Totally. Like, as he just mentioned, both Germany and China are the two most influential trade partners in the world. Actually, not just for trade, in general, for international collaborations. So I think it's China's responsibility to take a stronger role on the international stage about the globalization. And also, China's version of globalization, I guess, would be slightly different from what we have seen in the past years, because globalization is not all good as anything else, right? So it does has the problems of inducing more inequalities with income and also among the countries. So what China and Germany should be doing hand in hand is to promote some kind of a more inclusive globalization to help the poorer countries and the poorer populations to enjoy a better growth as well.
I think that's all my question today, and thank you, Mr. Bangert. Thank you.
Very nice for meeting you. Thank
nice
you for
to
coming.
meet you, and thank you, Bai Guo.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, in the tour mentions here in Pudong, more and more companies are now moving in, and many setting Shanghai as their regional headquarters. And also in the 2 episodes of today's live, we see more and more young foreigners choose to start their innovation project in Shanghai and turn them into business. And we also see more and more people like Mr. He Fei are willing work as a bridge between China and their own country, and to bring about more cross-cultural interactions and cooperations. So China's on the way of opening up, and it is embracing the world and will not take a U-turn. And we believe that the more China opens to the world, the more opportunities it is sharing with the world, the more likely common development and common prosperity can be achieved. Just like President Xi Jinping said, China's opening door will not close. The country will keep on opening up on all fronts and continue to liberalize and facilitate trade and investment. Okay, I think that's all for today's live program. And if you like it, please share the link with your friends. And I hope that you have enjoyed it. I'm Sun Qing in Shanghai, and see you next time.